Hi guys, today we're going to look at week 7 of math for today. So day 1 only had 2 questions. The first one was complete the table. So we're going to add 2 and we're going to add 3. So the number is 2. We're going to add 2 to get 4 and add 3 to get 5. Add 2 to get 5, add 3 is 6, and so on. So you should have saw a pattern there that here was going up by 1 and then up by 1. To complete the grid based on the table above, so we're going to look at the data that we have here. Let's complete it for number 1, 3, 4. So we're going to start at 0 and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to plot that point and call it number 1 because that's number 1. For number 2, we're going to go over 4 and up 5. Call that number 2. Over 5 and up 6. Call that number 3. Over 6 and up 7 is number 4. Number 5 is over 7 and up 8. You always go over first and then up. 9, 8 and 9, 8 and up 9. We're going to call that 7. So then you can see that your digits are going up. That's something that we will be doing in our geometry unit, but just a quick introduction to it. Let's look at day 2. You had to complete the table. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So 2 meters, 200 centimeters. 3 meters is 300. 4 meters is 400, and so on. So it takes 100 centimeters to make a meter. All right, make this statement true or false. We're going to play same or different. We're going to go to the 100 spot. Both have a 2. Same. Let's move on. 10 spot, 1 and 1. 1 spot, 4 and 1. 10th spot, 0 and 0. 100th spot, 0 and 1. 1 is bigger. It makes the whole number bigger. So this is 214 and 1,000th is less than 214 and 100th. Right? 2.5 or 2 and 5/10 times 10 to the third power. That means we're going to multiply. We're going to get bigger 3 times. We're going to move that decimal 1, 2, 3. And so our decimal is going to end up here. And we're going to put zeros in. And the answer is 2,500. 34 and 4/10 divided by 4. We're going to set that up in a standard algorithm. What times 4 will give us something close to 34? That's 8. And 4 times 8 is 32. You could do a 4 skip count down the side here until you get to something close to 34 and figure out that it is 8 of those. But now we're going to subtract and bring down. We're going to ignore that decimal right now. 24 divided by 4. We can continue our skip count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th number gets us there. Nothing left to bring down. I have 1 decimal place in the problem. I need 1 in the answer. 8 and 6/10. Day 3. Write 57 and 142 thousandths in standard form. So first of all, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to work everything before it first. 57, well, that's a 5 and a 7. And is a decimal. 142 thousandths. Thousandths is 1, 2, 3 decimal places. 142. 142 thousandths. All right, and this one, this is not an expression because it is an equal sign. If we took that off, it would be an expression, but we're going to solve for the product of 2 and 3/10 times 5 plus 8. So 2 and 3/10 times 5. 1 decimal place in the problem, so 1 in the product. And we're going to say 11 and 5/10 plus 8 gives me, this time I'm going to bring, oh, I'm sorry. Let's not do it that way, Miss Wright. 11 and 5/10 plus 8, the whole number 8. So there are no decimals in this. And then my decimal place would come here, 19 and 5/10. 257 times 66. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 more is 15. Now I'm going to move on to my tens place, which means I need a placeholder here so that my answer can go in the tens place. And when I multiply, I'm going to get the same thing. Now I'm going to add that together. 16,000. All right, so 2 and 3/10 times 5 plus 8. 2 and 3/10 times 5 is 11 and 5/10. When I add 8, it's a whole number 8, so it has to be aligned with the 11. I put a decimal and a 0 as a placeholder, and when I add those things together, I get 19 and 5/10. If you put the 8 under the 5, you now move that 8 into the decimal place, but 8 is a whole number, so it needs to be set up like this. Now I'm going to round 8 and 876 to the nearest whole number. This first 8 is the whole number. It is a whole 8. A decimal is part of a number. This is the whole number. When I look next door, an 8 tells me to round up, and so my number becomes 9. Everything behind it becomes zeros, so I don't even have to put them. All right, our last day, day 4. Write an expression for the calculation. Divide 15 into thirds and subtract from 14 divided in half. So sometimes these are just kind of trial and error. You're going to have to write them out, and then you may have to switch around numbers. So let's work at the first part. Divide 15 into thirds. So 15 divided by 3. Subtract 14 divided by in half. So we're going to do this as a separate calculation, this is a separate calculation, and then we're going to subtract. So here is the expression. 7 and 2/3 minus 5 and 5/8. Again, problems like this are still going to be extra credit at the moment. We are just getting into fractions. We have unlike denominators, so we have to change them. So I'm going to look at the 8. Nothing times 3 is 8. So now I'm going to skip count to 16. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Nope. So I'm going to go up again. 24. Well, 3 times 6 is 24. So this can be our common denominator. The 7 is going to stay the same, and I'm going to turn this to 24. To do that, I actually had to multiply by 6, so I have to multiply my numerator by 6, which gives me 12. My whole number stays the same. My 8 is going to become 24. To do that, oops, sorry. Actually multiply by 8. And when I do that, I get 16. Sorry about that. So multiply by 3, I get 15. Now I can subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 16 minus 15 is 1. 24 stays the same. 2 and 1/24. Right? How many thousands are in 90 hundreds? So let's write 90. This is a unit form. Let's write 90 hundreds because 2 zeros in the hundred, so 90 hundreds is 9,000. So if I say that number, I say 9,000. 4,545 divided by 9 in standard algorithm. No groups of 9 will make 4, so I'm going to look at 45. If I skip count by 9, I find out that it's 5 groups. And when I subtract, I get 0. I still have to bring down this 4. 9, no groups of 4. So this time I have to put that placeholder right there. That's 0. 0 times 9 is 0. 4, and now I'm going to bring down the 5, and I get 45 again. From my first problem, I know that it's 5. So my quotient is 505. All right, guys, now it's tomorrow you'll be taking your week 7 assessment for math for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.